I think we should form a Dahmer fan club.
What?
Yeah, like Dahmer can really go out in style.
Look at this is the Jeffrey Dahmer book from the movie we just watched. And
that's pretty big.
It's kind of surprising. Like
it's a lot of fucking pretty damn big. Jesus.
There's a lot of like random shit in here of him like describing, like afterwards it like describes like when I was talking about this part. This is the facts of why it was like that.
Oh, so it like breaks it down?
Yeah, a little bit. But I wanted to show you a couple things in here before we got into the movie. There's a picture. You know how he would do his little spaz things as Jeffrey Dahmer, like a fucking weirdo?
What a time, man! What a time. He was a class clown, and all he had to do was act.
Yeah. But here's a photo of him, like next to the locker doing shit like that.
Wow. So how this was? You said that a legit friend of his.
You know the guy that was in the car with him at the end, and that kind of was like, no, actually, fuck this, I gotta go home for dinner. That guy, the real life version of him, wrote the book.
Okay.
The guy, actually, his name is Derf, Backderf. Sounds like the most fucking made up name I've ever heard in my life.
It could be a pen name.
Could be, yeah. It made me laugh at the end of the movie. It's like based on a graphic novel by Derf McDerf.
Yeah, as soon as I saw credits, I was like, peace out. See you later, guys.
Oh, you didn't see the after credit scene?
Shut up.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, there's no way.
Let me see. I don't know where it's at. I'll have to find it here. But there's a quote from Jeffrey Dahmer that I had to read for you. Right here.
Sure.
So it says, June 18th, 1978, Dahmer touched and fondled the corpse and repeatedly masturbated while standing over it. At last fulfilling his monstrous fantasy. The night he killed that dude.
Yeah.
He touched his pee-pee, jerked off over him, fucking did all these things. And then he finally felt like, oh my God, what I've been feeling my whole life finally feel like I'm relieved.
Yeah. So he was, I mean, like, was he gay? I mean, is that the assumption?
I'm assuming so, because I think he kind of like Gacy only killed men and then like fucked them and did shit like that with them, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the movie, it didn't. I was kind of disappointed it didn't get as much into like his mindset of doing the shit that I was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see like early years because like most like stuff they don't touch on that usually.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little switch up to seeing like some of the early years stuff.
It was really interesting seeing somebody like that, like have friends and do kind of normalish things, like at the mall and whatever. But yeah, I liked the movie,
but retarded with each other.
Yeah, it's weird too because like it partly was like totally them making fun of him, like 100%. They were just.
I think it started that way, but then
they kind of liked him,
funny,
and they're like, "Wow, where the fuck's Dahmer at, dude? Like, bring Dahmer over. He'll smash some beers, and then he'll just like run into people at the mall."
Yeah, exactly. I guess I did. I mean, I didn't really know any of this stuff, so I mean,
yeah, no, this movie was the first I learned of it.
All this was very new to me. So.
I was going through the book while we were waiting to do this, and so far it is like exactly like the movie. Like it starts out with him in the woods, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come to my hut and watch me like dissolve this cat?" And then they freak out and they run away.
The one thing that kept popping into my head as this movie was going on.
Oh boy.
It reminded me of like Napoleon Dynamite at times. Like, and I could just envision him being like, John.
That's actually, I could actually 100% see that. The Napoleon Dynamite character did feel like this I don't know if Jeffrey Dahmer is always like this, like his weird little posture and all that. I mean, I guess he kind of is on the cover of that book and shit too. But I get what you mean. I could totally see it makes Napoleon Dynamite feel a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, that kept popping in my head. And I think it might have just been because the dude maybe kind of looked like, I can't even think of the dude's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. His real name in real life, the actor who played Napoleon.
Yeah, I don't know it either. But
yeah, I mean, and then, so, I mean, it's just your typical, like, teenager who was like an outcast.
Yeah.
Was like made fun of, was kind of bullied, but not really. Like it was his friend, and then he like didn't even stand up for his friend.
Yeah, I like that one. He walks
dude,
out of the school, and the guy's like, "Hey, we're gonna go to that thing together." And he, like, all of a sudden, he starts getting bold, like, and Dahmer's like, "Nope, sorry, I'm out of here.
See you later.
Nope, I'm not helping you out."
Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean, like I texted you, his mom was just. I mean,
interesting about
I'm sure
his mom.
that
this movie, it made it seem like she was crazy and all that stuff. But in the book, it says in the back that I think it was her only public interview, or it was her last interview on like NBC. She claims the dad made all that shit up about her, about being crazy and being on pills and all this shit. And I guess Jeffrey Dahmer didn't say shit about it. He didn't say one way or the other. But the friend that was there, the guy that wrote the book and the one that was even at the house they showed him in the movie, he said that most of the time she was like normal and nice, but every once in a while she was very quiet and wouldn't talk to them. But he said he saw nothing like what they show in the movie and all that, and like how the dad basically said that she was crazy like that to blame her for Dahmer, I guess.
Yeah, well.
But so no one really knows which way is true, and she's dead now. So she died, I think, in 2000 and 2004 of cancer.
He'll be dead for 20 years next November.
Yeah,
30 years. Sorry, 30 years.
I also saw apparently when
I didn't realize that it was 1994 when he died.
Yeah, didn't he get like shanked in like a prison bathroom or something? Because I know he was not liked in prison.
That's the thing.
I've heard he wasn't liked at all in prison.
I was kind of hoping that this would go into more of like what like his killings, because I don't really know much about. Like, I know the name and I know he murdered a bunch of people, but I don't really know too much about old Dom boy, old Jeff.
The stuff that I find interesting about him, which it would have been interesting to show in this movie too, is like there's a bunch of quotes from him in the book, and like one of them is like, it was like right before he was gonna die or something, and he's like, "This is the result of a poorly planned lived life." Basically being like, I fucked up and killed someone, and I tried to hide it, and I tried to go back to being normal after that, and I just couldn't, and it fucked up everything. So then he started killing more because like he was already screwed up. But like it's weird hearing him being like, "Oh yeah, I actually I wish I wouldn't have done that, but I fucked up and I have to deal with it."
Well, of course.
And it's like that just seems so crazy to like hear him like talk like that.
So I mean, are we to assume that dude that he picked up, that was his first
that was the
person
first
he killed,
guy
right?
he killed? Yeah. I think he killed him with the weights that his dad gave him too, actually.
Yeah, and what an awkward gift to give your kid. Like,
hey, maybe you
weights.
can work out, and some chicks might find you sexy, you know?
Fuck? I'm like, this is weird, bro.
You've never given Peyton weights and be like, hey, go lift weights and go make some friends.
No.
Well, I guess that's probably good, because then he might have turned out to be the next Jeffrey Dahmer if he did that.
I hope not, dude. That would suck so hard.
Oh my god,
to have a kid that fucking like turned into a serial killer or something.
I was thinking that because it said like in the book, it says what the parents ended up doing shit, and like it seemed like semi-normal shit, but their last names were still Dahmer, and that's got to be like so awkward to like be hired somewhere, and like someone's gonna ask you like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, and then you're like, yeah, it's my kid.
Well, but not even that. But I mean, like, they have to feel a sense of like guiltiness too, like that.
I think the dad felt very responsible,
like that, you know?
Because even like he kind of says it in the movie a little bit that like he's felt the urges and like he's felt like awkward like him.
Yeah.
But Angela was telling me that he talks about later on that like he's felt the murderous urges that he was afraid that his kid's gonna feel, but he was able to suppress them, I guess. So like I guess he feels a little responsible that way too, but yeah, it's interesting. I would totally feel 110% responsible. Even I guess Jeffrey Dahmer even says that like nothing you guys could have done would have made me any different. He says he's like wanted to do that his entire life.
Right.
But I feel like there is still ways to stop your kid from killing people.
I'm very glad that he didn't kill the dog in the woods.
Oh my god, yeah. Jesus Christ. Were you watching it with Abby?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
She would have been like, turn this shit off.
I wanted to shut it off because I'm like, if he fucking kills his dog, dude, I want to fucking lose my shit, dude.
I thought they were gonna show him kill it and then like cut away, but then he just like he's like, get out of here. I'll go. And then
thankfully
he really wanted to kill that guy jogging down the street too, like that doctor or whatever, that like when he touched his balls he got a boner or whatever, and like
and then
feel
he
all awkward.
Beat off.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, Abby's
Oh.
talking. She works from home on Fridays too. So, and she's talking to her
Gotcha.
coworkers. I almost sounded like she was crying, but
Oh,
she was
Jesus.
saying something about Hermione. So I don't know.
Oh, Hermione. Hold on. Let me see if I still have a Hermione. I have
That felt good.
There we go.
There you go.
Fuck you.
There you go.
I got some Westworld on here too now.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
I saw you doing some more little Westworld.
Yeah, I figured if
Potties,
I
little
was
potties.
buying all the episodes, I might as well do another video on it too. Which I got we went to Zia's the other day. I got the first season on 4K Steelbook because it was really cheap there for like Black Friday or something over the weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I was like, cool, I'll watch it in 4K now.
There you go. Even better. You're like, I'm gonna watch it
Doesn't
again.
look like anything to me.
It's just weird because Abby's the same way. She like there's certain shows that she can watch. Like,
oh yeah,
she's rewatching like, wow, weird. I mean, like when we sit down to eat, we don't sit at the table. We usually just sit in the living room or whatever. Like she puts on like Modern Family or like Superstore or The Office or New Girl. It's like those 4 shows. Like
that's funny.
It does. And she's been really big on rewatching Sopranos, but like to me, I have no like I don't want to
like when you're done with it, you don't want to ever see it again.
Yeah, but I mean, like
have you ever rewatched?
Those,
I guess you watched
like,
The Wire. Like, would you watch The Wire again for fun?
Well, I watched it like 4 times through, but it's mostly because we did pods on it.
True, yeah.
I've told other people to watch it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, for the most part, I'm like, I don't know, like Breaking Bad, like.
See, I've seen Breaking Bad like all the way through like 7 fucking times.
I don't have any urge to be like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna sit down and start watching this again.
I've watched Breaking Bad so many times that like now sometimes if I go to watch it, I'm like, oh, I've seen this episode too many times.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch this.
Like a sitcom, I guess, is kind of different. Like because I don't mind like with The Office and stuff like that. Because there's stuff that you forget or whatever, but
yeah.
But like with the regular show, like I don't have any. I'm not just like.
That's
hey man, I'm gonna sit down.
That's like 85% of what I watch is rewatching like a TV show or like a movie I've seen 100 times.
See, I just feel like it's a waste of time, and I mean that's just my philosophy. Because it's like, dude, you could be watching a whole new show that you might be that you don't even know you're missing out on.
Speaking of that, did you ever finish the show Vice Principals on HBO? Because I just recently started watching it.
I think we're caught up. There's 2 or 3 seasons, right?
I think there's 2 seasons of it. Yeah.
I think we're caught up.
That's like the one Danny McBride show that I kind of missed, and like me and Nick just like never really liked it. But I started watching it the other day, and it's fucking hilarious. I don't know why we didn't like it. I fucking love it. It's so good.
It's good. We enjoy it because we watched them when they came out.
Yeah, we watched like the first 2 episodes, and I don't know why we just didn't get into it. So then we never watched any more. But I'm like 4 or 5 deep into the first season, and it's so good so far.
I can see like that. That's just my way I view it is like, dude, I feel like I could, start another show that I might not have thought that I would like, but I might end up loving it and be like, dude, this is a fucking great show. See, or I can go watch The Wire again for the 5th time.
What I usually end up doing is I'll be like, I'll rewatch something like Westworld and then I'll start like a new show or something. Because like I'll try to do like a video on Westworld rewatching it or something like that. Like, I'll try to make it into something.
And then the other thing I do a lot too is like, so like right now with I can't think of that show that's on Paramount Plus with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, the Tulsa King.
Like Tulsa King. So there's 8 episodes. Okay, I've done research. I've looked it up. They don't know when they're going to make a season 2. They are going to make season 2. I've watched 7 episodes. I haven't watched the 8th episode.
Really?
Yeah, I do that all the time because it's like I don't know when the next season's coming.
Is it just like so when you see season 2 is announced, then are you gonna go watch the last episode?
I'm sure I will. Yeah, I'm sure I will.
That is kind of fun though. Like, I wish I would have done that with Yellowstone.
Get excited. Yeah.
I got all the way fucking caught up with Yellowstone. I watched 2 fucking episodes live, and then now it'll never come back.
And see, we still have season 5 part 2 to finish.
Oh, see that it was so fucking good. I just sped through it and then I was like, "Where's more?"
I know.
Oh, it's fucking over.
Well, that's what we did.
And I think there's like 5 episodes left.
We kind of got to the end, and then I was like, it was when all that shit was coming out. Like, oh, it might not go. So it kind of turned me off, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to watch this right now because, like, we don't know when the next season's coming, if there is another, like, but they are going to finish it up, though, right?
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
gonna
not going to be with John Dutton.
finish it up and do the spinoffs. I think
Yeah.
they're just waiting until when they can or whatever now.
Yeah. I saw the creator, that Taylor Sheridan guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Rip character, his name's Cole Hauser.
Yeah.
He created a coffee brand, and Taylor Sheridan is suing him. So
really?
I'm
what
like,
the fuck? What the fuck? Why?
I don't know. I didn't click on the link, but I was just like, okay. I'm like, well, there's just more fucking drama.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's annoying.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite character
so,
too. Don't fuck him over.
Yeah, that's Abby's favorite.
I love him and Beth. I fucking love them. If they just got a spinoff, I'd just be happy. I could just watch those episodes.
I don't know. I feel like they might, because
I
feel like I feel like they are going to do a Rip spinoff. I heard they're going to do a spinoff on the 4-6s ranch, because that's a real ranch in real life.
Yeah, isn't that the one that like Matthew McConaughey will be on supposedly?
Maybe, I don't know, but Taylor Sheridan, I'm pretty certain bought that shit for
Oh, he bought the ranch.
Like $250 million.
Wow, I didn't know that.
An insane amount of money. I could be wrong on this, but don't hold me to it. But yeah, let me see here.
I mean, I guess that would make sense if you're making all these shows like that, to buy one of the biggest ranches like that and then just make a show there.
4-6s Ranch. So it says legendary 4-6s Ranch sold to Yellowstone producer Taylor Sheridan. This was in January of 2022.
Oh, so this was like right when they were like, all right, we're gonna move on from Yellowstone and do this kind of, and then
I guess
Kevin Costner's like, hold on a second, I have a thought.
Hold up.
So it says it was listed for sale at $340 million.
Jesus Christ!
It's over 266,000 plus acres. So I mean, it's fucking massive.
Yeah. So is that bigger than like the Duttons Ranch area in Yellowstone?
I would assume, yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Though.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I hope they can just get back to making those shows, because those are fucking fantastic.
They are great.
Did you watch the 1883 and 1923?
I have not. We haven't watched the spin-off.
1883 I loved on Paramount Plus. 1923 was a little harder to get through, and you won't like it because Harrison Ford's the lead in 1923.
I can't stand Harrison Ford.
You'll fucking hate that.
And that's the main reason I haven't watched it.
But
and the funny thing is
I highly recommend.
I like Tim McGraw, and I know he's in that.
Yeah.
And his wife Faith Hill. So.
Yeah, they're the Duttons in that one.
Yeah, eventually we'll get there, but yeah.
Whenever they announce Yellowstone the final season,
probably yeah.
Just get to
it. It's just funny because like I get sucked into those shows, and then like I'm always late on shows. Like there's hardly very many shows that I ever watch live. So then it's like I just rip through them, and then it's like, fuck, dude, I have to sit here and wait now. Like,
yeah, no, that blows a little bit.
it's so funny because Nick used to be like, dude, I don't understand, like, because like he knew that I would like. I'm sure he would not be surprised if I told him like I still haven't watched the episode 8 of Tulsa King. He'd be like, yeah, it was like typical classic Hess. Fucking.
I'm sure you still haven't watched the last episode of that Tupac show.
Fuck you, Bernard.
Plead the fifth. But yeah, he would be like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, he's like, who cares? Like, and I don't know, for whatever reason in my head, it's something psychological, I guess. I don't know.
I get the binging part of it though. I love when you're behind on a show and you're catching up and you're like, wow, I fucking missed out on this, and then you get all the way to the end and you're like, now I feel on board with everybody else.
Yeah, and then you have something to talk about with people too, because
like when the show gets brought up again or whatever.
The majority of like the population,
like when you finally got caught up
with
Game of Thrones, like the last 2 seasons or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You got caught up. I'm pretty sure you got caught up just to wait 2 years for like the season to air or something like that.
And it sucked.
Yeah, and then you hated it. See, that's you watch shows live when you end up hating them. Might as well wait and see if people like it or not.
Are they gonna do? They're gonna do more on that off of that, right?
For
Game of Thrones, like spinoff.
I don't know. Most of those other spinoffs got canceled, but so I don't know. I don't know which ones are still around, but they will do some. Did you see though that George R.R. Martin said House of the Dragon will be 4 seasons and then it'll be done?
I did not see that. I
Or
saw
he said
that
he
tweet you
imagines
sent
it'll
me
be 4 seasons,
that
but
he
I bet he
saw
knows.
or read the first 2 episodes and they're very dark. So
Yeah, they made him cry, I
he's
guess.
like, which I like. I'm like, that's creepy.
Oh, I love crying. Oh, somebody here?
He's like, uh-oh.
Go get him. Go get her, Spencer.
Go get her.
I don't think anyone's actually there. I think Joe's just going crazy. He likes to
He's
like the wind will blow, and he's like, "Fuck, somebody's right outside the door. Go fucking
he's
get
like,
him."
He's like, there's a cord on the floor.
Thank God he is a little bit better with cords and shit now. Like I think the other 2 dogs and him playing with them has made him better with that. But oh my God, back in the day, he would be like
That
trapped
is
in the
funny.
corner of a room. But like the other night, he was barking, and me and Angela thought it was because Taylor was leaving, and so I ignored him for a minute, but he was still barking. So I went and checked out him in the living room. And there was just this much space between the couch and the chair or the table, and he wouldn't walk through it because there wasn't enough space. So I had to move it over like so fucking much for him to walk through because he was trapped.
So how did he
behind.
get over there?
He walked through it, but he just couldn't walk through it the other way to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he would have had to gone in reverse.
He turned around.
Or he was able to turn around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know why he wouldn't walk through it the second time. So I had to help him out.
He's like, help!
Basically,
help me.
I'm fucking stuck. I walked through here, but I'm stuck. Fucking Jesus.
That's funny. That is funny.
I didn't ask you this in the beginning, but is there anything you learned about Jeffrey Dahmer?
I learned everything in this movie about it because, like, I didn't know anything about his. I pretty much know his name. I did not know that he confessed to killing 19 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that. He acted like a retard in school to be funny. I didn't know that.
That when that popped up in this movie, I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit! Like that is just I did not expect that.
When he started like spazzing out in the hallway, I thought it was like legit.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I'm going, is he like having a seizure? Like, is this real? Like, was he like, did he have seizures?
I also don't get why people thought that was funny for so long. Like, I get once or twice him randomly doing that is like a little funny. But like the 18th time, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
And then his friends were like infatuated with drawing pictures of him.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I'm like,
I kind of wonder if they wanted to have a little suck and fuck party, you know?
He's like, check it out. It's you as King Kong on the Washington Monument.
He's going, like, oh, look, this one's you sucking my cock. Look at that one. Just getting real weird with it.
I kept thinking of, what is it, in Superbad when Jonah Hill's character just drawing the dicks. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I bet you didn't hear. Did you hear one of the times he had killed some person, and you know how like he drilled in their heads and shit? Have you heard about that? He would like get them drunk and pills and whatever, but then he would drill in their heads so that way they would just like stay there on his couch and couldn't do shit with him. But one of the dudes got up and left and like walked to a cop, but like he couldn't talk because he was so fucked up. And Jeffrey Dahmer just throws his arm around him and just be like, no, it's okay. We're just doing gay stuff. So then the cop ignored him and let it go by because they're like, oh, I don't want to be involved with his gay stuff. And let him go by and just believed it. But it was an underage kid with a fucking hole in his head and the cop just didn't even notice.
That's crazy.
I think that was like a little bit right before Jeffrey Dahmer got caught.
That's wild.
Yeah. Just like the stuff like that, though, I was like, wow, why wasn't that in the movie? Which I guess in the show, the Dahmer show on Netflix, it gets really into some of his stuff, like how he was living. Like people say you can almost smell his apartment from how it looks in the show,
which is weird.
Yeah, but I some of that I just kind of don't want to get into either. Some of it when they get way too into them and like showing them kill the people and like some of that, it's a bit much. I don't need to see.
You're just like okay.
I'd rather just hear your stories a little bit about it.
Exactly.
But also, that being said, this movie did a little bit too less, where I feel like it should have had him kill some people. Because it kind of just showed his normal life, and then it gets him, and he drives away with this guy, and you're like, oh, does he kill or does he not kill? Until the text comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was I feel like they should have at least showed his first kill.
Yeah, yeah.
It is weird, too. In the book at the end, there's like an epilogue thing, and I guess like 3 to 5 years after the kids went to college, they came back to town and they were all chit-chatting about what they're doing now and their jobs and all this shit. And they were talking about whatever happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. And one of them joked like, oh, I bet he's a serial killer now. And that's how the book ends. And I'm curious if they really had that conversation or if he just put that in the book to be like, we were joking about him being a killer and he turned out to really be a killer.
Yeah.
But that's how it ends.
I mean, it's so weird when they're like fishing and then like they're like just
Oh
cut
my
it
god,
and
he just
throw
starts
it
fucking
back.
cutting the shit out of it.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I've been like, what are you doing,
right
bro?
there, no matter who you are hanging out with me, I'm like, I'm gonna be weary every time I hang out with you.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Or how
I'm just
fucking
like, dude,
quick you went to do that, like, ugh.
kiss my pee-pee. Yeah, he's weird. Weird.
But so, what serial killer are you interested in next? I texted you about Ted Bundy, Zodiac. We could do, but that's like almost 3 hours. So I don't know if we want to do that.
That's with Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo. I don't remember who else is in it.
I don't know.
I thought of Monster 2, but you said you saw that, so I don't know if we want to do that either. But is there any other killers that you're interested in, or like you don't know much about, but you know their names?
Here, let me Google it real quick.
Because I feel
I meant
like
to Google it earlier.
we could do Ted Bundy, but like I kind of feel like we know a lot about Ted Bundy with all the documentaries and shit on Netflix and like the Zac
famous
Efron
serial
movie.
killers.
I was googling that earlier to see what movies, and it fucking kept giving me stuff like Saw and like It Follows and shit like that. I'm like, these are not movies about real serial killers.
I wonder if there's anything. The BTK killer, Dennis Rader, aka the BTK killer.
Ooh, interesting.
He's number one. He's coming up above Ted Bundy,
was
above John Wayne Gacy.
#1. Is there an actual movie about that?
That's the thing. I don't know.
BTK killer movie.
BTK killer. I'm doing this.
The
on my
Hunt
work
for
phone.
the BTK Killer, a horror/crime movie that is 1 hour and 28 minutes. It has a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh, that sounds like a grand old time.
Let's see. Oh, Robert Forster's in it. He plays the detective.
Oh, I like Robert Forster.
Oh, you know this guy that screams at them all the time. He's supposed to be like Harvey Weinstein in Entourage. That guy's in it.
We can watch it. I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah, I don't either. This will be completely
It just
new
says
for me too.
it just says for 31 years, the serial killer known as BTK raised terror in the small town of Wichita, Kansas. Starting in 1974 and ending in 1991, BTK killed 10 people and resurfaced in 2005, in which the BTK killer was captured. This is the story of how police found, captured, and convinced the vicious serial killer.
I like that we'll see him get captured and everything too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right, I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
We'll have to rent this one. It's only like $3 to rent though. So
I was
cheap.
pissed I couldn't rent this fucking thing because I didn't want to watch it with fucking 180-second ads.
Did you want to watch the Spanish one too, Mi Amigo Dahmer?
I know. Well, and then the thing that pissed me off too, I was like watching it and it restarted. I was like literally over an hour in and it like restarted. So then I had to go and like fast forward.
And then when you do that, there's another ad.
Every set of ads. I'm like,
every set
it made me rewatch.
Fuck.
So I'm like, I would have just paid the $3.99.
Oh my god, yeah. So it wasn't available anywhere to rent.
It did not give me. I went on Amazon Prime and I went on. It did not give me an option to rent.
I didn't know that. I just
it
saw
was just like
ads,
watch.
So I was like, whatever, I'll watch it this way.
Whatever. It was like free with ads on Freevee or something like that.
Yeah, because that's that free Amazon and shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, and then like the first ad was like 20 seconds. So I'm like, oh, it might be quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like by the end, it was like 180 seconds, like 3 minutes of ads.
Oh
dude.
my god.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, this is nutbag. I'm like, what are we doing here, dude?
Taylor watched like a little more than half the movie with us, and then she went to bed because her and Victoria drove to California this morning.
Oh, nice.
So she was like, oh, pause it. How much is left? And we were like, there's 45 minutes left. She's like, yeah, but you guys also have ads. So you have about an hour left. So then she went to bed and she missed like the last, like basically hour of the movie.
I mean, she didn't really miss much.
Yeah.
She could watch our pod and...
That's true, yeah. She might learn a thing or two more than the actual movie on here.
Like, you should watch the pod with me and Hess and you might learn something.
Did this movie, because we only have 10 minutes left now, did you have any questions about Dahmer?
I don't think I had any questions. I didn't realize he died almost 30 years ago. I did not realize that.
How long was he actually in prison before he died? Do you know?
I don't know. He died in 94. That's all I know.
Yeah. And I know he killed 17 young boys too. At least by the end of the movie, that's what it says.
Looks like he was caught on. So he was only in prison for 3 years.
Oh wow!
It says he was caught in July 22nd, 1991. He was caught after he offered 3 men $100 at a bar to come with him back to his apartment to pose for nude photographs.
Oh, fuck, that always gets you caught every time.
One of the 3
Winning.
men, Tracy Edwards, agreed to the offer. It says apparently he escaped. So it says,
Oh, he actually got away. Interesting.
yeah, it says he also raped some of his victims and cannibalized their bodies for 4 hours. Tracy Edwards sat handcuffed in Dahmer's apartment, pleading with the killer to spare him. Dahmer refused, but he had put handcuffs on only one of Edwards' wrists, and this eventually enabled him to escape and make a break for it.
That's where he fucked up.
Why would you only put handcuffs on one hand?
If you're holding someone captive, put like handcuffs on their hands and their feet. If you're fucking trying to keep them there.
So it says what was found in Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment. It says the authorities found 11 bodies in Dahmer's apartment after his arrest in 1991, along with bloodstains, 7 skulls, 2 hearts, 2 skeletons, a pair of severed hands, multiple dismembered torsos, and other human organs. They also found Polaroid photos, weapons, and acid.
Oh yeah,
so
like acid, like what he did with the
that right there. I feel like you can just smell his apartment just by listening to that.
I bet him and Gacy would have got along with those fucking
bodies.
Smells. That's fucking crazy.
God, that is wild.
So out of the killers we've watched so far, who's your favorite? Who are you most interested in? We got Charles Manson, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer so far.
I mean, this might sound weird, but I feel like I'm the most interested in Dahmer, just because I don't necessarily know a whole hell of a lot about him.
So you still have more questions about him and whatnot?
Yeah, I still have more questions. I might watch not that Netflix 7-episode one.
Yeah, that's also the thing with that one. It was so fucking long.
I might find a documentary that maybe it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and
there
watch
is a
it or
movie
something.
from his dad's point of view. I forget what it's called, like Raising Dahmer or something like that. But the guy who wrote that book, his friend said it's a horrible movie. But there is that if you wanted to watch it from his dad's perspective. That's the only
just
other
to
Dahmer
see
movie
if there's, because like I said, I don't really know much about him. And I mean, like gay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if his victims were underage boys like Gacy's. I don't know.
I think they were, but he was also. I mean, not like he was underage, but he was younger too. So I think he was like just trying to get young dudes with him.
Yeah. So he was only 31 when they caught him, because he was born in 1960. So he was only 31 years old.
Wow. So he was doing that. He was doing that for a bit then.
Like 78.
If this movie ended with
78 to 91.
Victim? Wow.
So what is that? 12. That's 13. Yeah, it's like 13 years.
Wow.
So
that's pretty fucking crazy.
I think what he did was respectable. It is crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy to get away with that for 13 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I always say. Like, it's so, and I mean, it's a good thing, but I mean, I feel like it's almost impossible to do that shit nowadays with the cameras and everybody having camera phones and just the surveillance they have. Back then, I mean, there was fucking landlines and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah.
So
like, anybody like getting like the friend being scared in his house. If Jeffrey Dahmer would have hit him with something, he could have maybe texted his mom or called her for help, or somebody. Like, there's so many more opportunities to help you get away now.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, I feel like it's so much harder to get away with shit like that nowadays.
Like, so much of the things that happened in this movie, I feel like would have been different with just modern circumstances with him.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be somebody eventually that does it and gets caught, but I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder.
I don't feel like it'll span over 15, 10 to 15 years. Like some of these.
Do you think it's kind of dead, like the famous serial killer kind of thing now? Like, do you think there'll be like, I'm sure there's obviously still gonna be people that kill people throughout life.
Yeah.
But do you think like there'll be another like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, BTK killer, like kind of thing like that?
I don't think so.
I think
it's kind of been replaced by people wanting to like death by cop,
or like mass shooters.
It's the mass shootings. And then they go out guns blazing, like they just run out to the cops with fucking weapons drawn. Like, I feel like that's kind of replaced the serial killer.
I can see that. That's the kind of the new thing.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me, but you know, I don't know. People are fucking sick in the head.
Yeah, which actually, I want to show you this TikTok. I saw a TikTok of O.J. Simpson. I have a minute left here, so hopefully I can find it quick. But it is 110% him admitting to fucking killing that woman.
You know, I don't like to pat myself on the back. Oh, yes, I do.
But
what did he say?
It says, OJ, you are the slayer of women. And he goes, oh, I don't like to pat myself on the back. Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, but I think he might be. I think he's talking about fucking them.
I mean, I think that's where he's getting around it.
Yeah, the double.
Yeah, but I think we all know what the fuck what that really means. But
so,
I was just scrolling through TikTok the other day and I saw that and I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Shut up, bitch.
That's funny.
We have probably like 30 seconds left. Do you have anything you want to say to the people before it cuts us off?
I don't think so.
Holy shit, that could not have been better. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Next week, we are watching the BTK Killer movie. You heard us talk about which one. Catch you there, Bill and Ted.
Fuck you. Oh, yeah.